Dang, Hardy, that kind of I like that, boy. That's pretty fresh.
Hey, good conversation, man. Always needs a good interlude. You know what I'm saying? People don't read the whole book; they just look at the cover.
Yeah, feel like we've been off for a long time, man. So we, in the meantime, we give you pieces of the whole thing. All right,
Yeah,
how you
it's
been, dog?
been pretty good, man. Busy. This time of year, man. To use your words, I think I'm getting stretched at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Getting pushed and pulled in different ways for a blessing, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the lesson period, though, of
Yeah, yeah, it's better to get stretched than swallowed.
it.
Just don't get swallowed up.
You're right. No P Diddy parties was attended in this in this period of us being off.
Yeah, no, was it Mario was swallowed up.
They been killing. It's like it's crazy how the time works. How that like had nothing to do with that. They just make it brought to it. It's like the best joke that you could go now.
Yeah, and it's one of his best sermons at that.
Dog,
It's one of his
that's what
best
I'm
clips.
saying. It's phenomenal when you listen to this story. It is so funny how many people post that, and the context that he was speaking in is so profound, and they just turned it all the way around to something else that's so devious. Man, the devil busy.
Yeah, definitely busy, dog. So, hey, man, conversation with two was something that you were supposed to did 2 years ago, man. But
That's true.
when I get something on my brain, the person that always gives the wisdom or the insight is usually you. Everybody has something they add to it, but you usually be the person that's going to add some add some enlightenment to what I got going on. When I'm going through my dating, it's usually you that'll say something that make me say, okay, maybe I ain't see it that way.
Yeah, I like to one of my biggest attributes I think is I try to think about different perspectives. I've been around so many different people and leaving Revere at an early age and coming back and forth. I've met so many people that I really wouldn't never have spoke to if I had stayed home and wouldn't have been opened up to what I'm saying, to like different people, different ethnic groups, different
Yeah.
conversations, because where we from, you're almost kind of taught that if you're not this way,
Uh,
then it's shunned upon. You know what I'm saying? Whether you use the word green or lame or whatever you want to call, we always kind of felt growing up, if you don't have these attributes, if you haven't went through this, if you haven't stayed here, if you don't have nobody that can vouch for you, then you are not the quality of men that we kind of, interact.
agree.
Yeah. So I think that me moving around and meeting different people, even with you coming back home, getting in different groups of people and being able to just see different aspects of life, man. I think it just gave me a different perspective, like saying, like man, I wouldn't have talked to this dude, but this dude is cool as hell. Or this woman,
Uh,
man, I never met no woman like this, and she's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because and then it made me look at it and say, well, all of us have a journey in life. So let me stop being so closed minded and try to see somebody
uh,
else's point of view. And you know what I'm saying? And I think me learning, being an avid learner, wanting to learn and wanting to get as much knowledge as I can, I've seen that most of the times in life it's just perspective. It's not even about a wrong or right. It's just about perspective. And I
yeah,
think most of our conversations, not to carry this on, be very full, fulfilling because I think it's no judgment and it's two people trying to learn and actually looking for something, even if it's not a problem being solved, trying to hear the other person out because we respect each other's perspective.
I agree with that. I agree with that, and being open to letting other people hear the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's big. Last year, the last couple of years, I think everybody had their thing to overcome. That's how we came up with the show. Mine was post divorce and then dating.
Right.
So everyone has their thing, you know. But I know
Um,
you asked me earlier some
how you
questions.
doing? How you you saying post divorce and dating, but you're still in the dating realm. So how is that going for you?
I tell you what, I think all the good women, the great women that you want to marry, are divorcees the best women that I've met are divorcees and probably puts you in the stepdaddy role.
Mm,
Only bad thing is I've met some phenomenal women who are married to some mofos. I don't know where it went wrong, but you meet them, they like great women. But you can kind of understand that they done been through some things and they got to go through their healing journey and, assess some of the trauma they endured. And I think everybody takes marriage personal when it
right.
fails. But I've met some phenomenal women. And, the one I met was like, damn, this is something phenomenal. This is the person I like, but they've been. You have to respectfully be in a place where you can say, "Hey, I understand you didn't just been on a long journey, and you know, you might need some time to yourself to rediscover who you are before you can step back in that arena."
Mm. Do you think are you seeing that most of the women that you say are divorcees were they married younger? And
Yep.
so, do you think that has something to do with the judgment? Because we pick women different at different ages in our life. So do you think that applies to women too, like them picking a man and not understanding that's not what they see is not sustainable when they become who they're supposed to be in life?
Yeah, I think that applies to both sides for different reasons. Though I think a lot of women, they have these childhood fantasies or perfect storybooks, and they ignore a lot of the red flags that come with that person when they start to see this person comfortable while they're driven. This person not willing to stretch, not wanting to mature, grow spiritually, or even take on the responsibilities. I think most men just think you coexist, not knowing as a man, bro, you just signed up to put this whole family and the legacy on your back for
Mm,
generations.
I agree with that. Do
Yeah.
you think? I guess my other question would be is, do you think that? Well, how do you navigate or make a decision on was it a bad decision or is it a character trait of somebody who's locked into picking to having bad picks?
I don't know
Like,
because I've done that myself. Listen, I've probably met the same person in three different forms when I was younger. You know, Thinking is different people, but so that's when you got to go to the table and analyze yourself. Be like, how did I just meet the same person in three different people, like the same type, and how am I coming to these people? I don't
but
think
do you
a lot of
do you
people don't
think
have
that
that.
do you think well I know you do. I'm saying in the dating world because
Hmm.
being outside of the dating world, me and my wife were just talking about this and I was like, I don't think people really revere and prioritize marriage. I'm saying the institute of marriage. Like they don't really respect it as far as like find real value. Like I talked to Chris and Zay, two other, what I'm saying, people who are still dating right well, single, not married. That's why I call single. So just to be clear. Um,
Hmm.
and I feel like I know so many men who are motivated and who have overcame such obstacles in life that if people was to tell you their story through and through like we know it, it'll break people down. Yet and
Hmm.
still, when it comes to having meeting a mate, which was actually created by God, I'm a Christian, for context, I believe that. So a woman was created for a man to be a helpmate to take him to the next level, push him and be that security, to get him through the purpose, right? So if you believe that that's what a woman is for in your life, I think that person meeting that person should be worked on or in that direction should be drove to more than money, health, or anything else because that person can solidify your win in your cell to push you towards your purpose. And I think that it's just looked at as like a caveat instead of a mandatory ingredient to make the cake taste the way it's supposed to taste. It's like the ice cream on top instead of saying, no, if you don't add the right amount of flour, this cake won't be right. And I think that that's the way people look at marriage as like a icing on top instead of the fundamentally purpose of a cake, which is the flour. Do you see that?
I do. Maybe I don't explain it the same way you do, but I think everybody gets to a point where they realize the most priceless things are the intangibles. If I don't know nothing else, I know success is lonely, right? And if once you learn that at this point, you kind of can value having somebody to share it with, right? And I think I guess I agree with you. Some for marriage for some people is a checklist item. Marriage for some people is, damn, I want to say, something that makes their life easier. I don't think people in the full aspect appreciate how marriage can be a major blessing. It's a building block for generations if you do it right. But I don't think I think everybody. I mean, and I'll say everybody because I can't do that. But a lot of people are about them. You know what I mean? And some people go into it with good intentions, but I think a lot of people so scared of getting hurt that they just playing this role. I'm in it, but I ain't in it to the point where I'm gonna get hurt or take a loss. When you can't really think that way. You understand
Mm.
what I'm saying?
I do, and I think so. Why I ask you this? Then, why do you think, besides social media, why do you think that it's so hard for somebody to actually just link up with their person? Then, because I hear that so much, and I'm still in disbelief because I just don't think. I think it's just hard to let go of power once you get to a certain age and a certain status. It's hard to let go of power and actually compromise. Like that's the hard part right now because it's truth be told, when you're thinking about marriage logically, it doesn't pan out for the man in most cases once you get to a certain level, right? Like you can't logically make that. I'm not no fool. You can't logically make that make sense. But it's almost like religion, right? It
Mm-hmm.
has to be a level of faith and understanding a purpose that drives you to say, this might not make sense on the surface, but I understand that all things works for the good of those who love the Lord and works towards his what good. So I think that in marriage, if that's not incumbent of what you're getting into it for, I can understand why people wouldn't want to. But I don't understand why people who understand that having a person that really has your back, another income, a supportive person, a team member, should in this day and age should not be a focal point, especially in the black community.
I think, and I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I think visuals. A lot of people are still slaves to how it's supposed to happen, what he's supposed to look like, what she's supposed to look like, what I'm supposed to say, and they'll pray and say, God give me this, this, and that, right? And but in reality, He gives it to people a lot of times, but because they don't look like how they have it in their brain, they're rejected. Uh, there are some great dudes. So when I hear people say, "Oh, ain't this it's a pissy dating pool," I don't believe that. I think there's some great dudes, but I think people are looking for things to define them. That's why you see a lot of dudes keep chasing this fine chick, but there's nothing there besides them using that to define. Look at my chick. I got this chick, and I'm gonna use that to validate that I got some success or happiness, which usually is a lie. But if a person don't look a certain way, when we ask some of our lady friends, hey, first thing out your mouth is like, hey, what you looking for? And they gonna first say 6 feet. 9 out of 10 they're gonna say 6 feet. But in reality, that's that I don't know, man. When we hear some people say, I can't date a short guy. God might just send you a short guy that's your end all be all. So I just think people, refusing to come off their unrealistic expectations. But that's just me, you know.
I think I hear people say that a lot, right? I got to push back on that a little bit because most of the people I follow a lot of marriage pages too, right? And most of the people I see married are not people who in shape. Like
Yeah, but they, wait a minute. Listen, and the first thing they'll do is get in shape just for pictures. Visuals are big. Like
right,
most
I agree
jokers
with that.
that's in marriage now wasn't out of shape then.
No, that's what I'm saying. The
Man,
most right now, if we were to look at a marriage page right now, like they got all those wedding pages of people getting married and beautiful
mm-hmm.
weddings and suit pages. The average person, especially on the men's side, is not in shape. Bro, I can show you
on during the marriage pictures, like anniversary, or on their wedding day. Because on the
on their
wedding
wedding
day
day.
pictures,
On their wedding day. Like right now, I can show you like a slew because I be having these talks. So I can show you a slew of pictures and be like, bro, at the end of the day, because I used to tell my wife this, like before I got married, I felt like exactly what you're saying. Women wanted a guy who's in shape, well groomed, can dress for any occasion, all those things. So I worked on all those things. Now that I am married, I see a lot of dudes who don't give a damn about the gym, make all right money, and don't know how to dress. And I'm seeing it, but it's people getting married left, right, and sideways. And I was asking my wife, do her friends, do they see a change in what women want now? Is it a change?
You in Atlanta, it's a shortage. So I don't have like
no. I'm saying on pages.
Don't pay a chance.
I'm saying on pages for like for every like because that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't never speak on Atlanta because I understand Atlanta, Houston, and Washington are outliers for Black people. Right? Those are not real places in the world.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I understand that. That's why I don't bring that into the dating pool, or I don't bring them into conversation because those are not true metrics on what the average, people are going through in America, right? But I'm saying just like I follow a lot of pages, right? I'll be looking at stuff and I'll be like, I think if people could just, if two people who want to be married get together, I think they will be married. I think as I get older, bro, I'm starting to see you can push back. A lot of men say they want to be married. Just like a lot of men, you talk about this, a lot of people say they want to be a millionaire, but they don't want to work 70 hours a week. They say they want to get it in the gym, but they want to have this kind of body, but they don't want to go not eat fried chicken. They don't not want. I want them. I eat it sometimes. Sometimes I do. That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's a lot of people who say they want stuff, but then they don't want to do the work that it takes to actually get it. And some men don't even feel like they have to do the work no more. Like, I'm a man. I'm not gay. I'm not in jail, and I make over 40,000. Take me as I am and shut up.
Listen, I spent the last 3 days with that dumbbell doing that cut up workout, bro. Right. And I swear, boy, that is a tough hill to climb. But I will admit, I know there's people that I might have been interested in that say, "Oh, who didn't got out of shape." You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's a real thing that I'm actually thankful for. Because in my core, I'm like, if you a single person and I show interest or you have interest in me, and you say you ain't feeling me because my body might not be to a certain standard of what you stand today, I don't want you, because at the end of the day, I'm about essence. I've always y'all try to call me out on it. I don't care how fine she is. I gotta have a conversation with her. I need to know the essence of who this person is. But I think that goes a long way.
I think one part of that is cap. I think that, and I think because I think that you say that every time in that order. I think you do care how fine she is, but I don't think that's the only thing you care about. See, I think that you have to be. You see what I'm saying? I think you have to look a certain way. But see, when you said the other way, it looked like, oh no, it don't matter how she look, long as she got good substance and she a good person. No, that's not true. You still have a level of, she has to look at least like this, and plus she has to be able to have a conversation. She has to have good money management skills, and she got to be able to go in different groups of people and understand how to converse and act the part, because that's who you are. So she has to be equally yoked with you on a lot of areas. But I think it's almost misrepresentation. It's a misrepresentation, because if you say, well, it don't matter how she look, long as she has sex, I understand what you mean. You won't date a dime that's a dumbbag. I understand. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like you're saying it don't matter as long as she's a philosopher. And I'm like, that's cap. That's like, there's no way. I've never seen you holler at a Buffalo Bill. I've never seen you that in my life. So I'm not going to say that. Now, the women you holler at are nice looking women, and I can say they have substance, but they are all nice looking women.
Okay. Well, maybe I clean it up. I don't care how fine you are if you don't have some substance, bro. Right. Everybody's fine right now. That's to be true. Everybody's fine right now. Everybody getting new teeth and everything under the sun. But at the end of the day, I can't do nothing with that. You know what I mean? Especially if I'm bringing them into what I've established for myself. That's a big thing. And I feel like It may come off wrong at times, bro, but I just know without sounding cocky, I'm him. Like what you're looking for, I have that, and I don't want to get that to the wrong person. Is that a bad thing to say?
No, I think it's not a bad thing to say, but I think it's a understanding of who you selling to. See,
Right.
it's almost like because at the end of the day, I sell cars a lot. I can feel like this car is the most amazing car in the world. If I market it in the wrong group of people, it don't matter what I feel. It's falling on
Yeah.
deaf ears. So sometimes I feel like that. It's almost like, yeah, you're amazing to what people? Because I know I'm not amazing to everybody. I'm not women who go to the strip club, who want to go on get flued out, who go want to go on trips, who want to wear Louis every weekend and put down. I'm not attractive to them because I'm not doing that. So I understand that. I'm not. That's not who I'm attracted to. So I'm probably a dud to them. But to somebody who you're describing, I'm probably going to be who they're going to choose. You see what I'm saying? So
I'm glad you said that because it goes back to what you just said about selling. So for me to have that conversation and have that feeling, imagine having that conversation and presenting like I'm selling to, hey, this is who I am, this is what I offer, to what we said in the beginning. I'm meeting nothing but divorcees. I'm meeting divorcees who've been in long-term relationships, and I'm asking them to be like, try again, or be like, buy into something after, you know,
yeah, no,
that's
and
that's
that's an
that's
uphill
interesting.
battle, but it's
Hmm.
almost kind of like I can understand why you would meet those people because, for one, they have an era of, they have a knowledge of knowing their errors, right? They
Yeah,
have a understanding of what it could be and what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to and it all goes wrong. So it's a bit of humility that attracts you to them because they really respect probably marriage. If you've been divorced, most people I know who've been divorced respect marriage at another level
yeah.
because I believe this going into marriage, how I am right now, and me and you have spoke on this. You go into marriage thinking it's never going to end. You optimistically blind on saying this is forever. So to, especially for me, to have that not be a forever, I think that's a man, a humbling experience. So when I hear most women say the same thing, so when you meet a divorcee, I think it's a level of bonding that y'all both have. Yeah, my next one I'm gonna make it work because I see what I did wrong too. I see what
Yeah.
I did wrong too. But I think how do you get over? My question would be to you is is it worth it to you now to fight for or to try to change somebody's mind to say I'm worth the second chance?
And that's why I believe no,
Hmm.
no. It got to be an open door, bro. I think that's what got me in that relationship I was in. Somebody venting, I haven't found this person, I met this, like I just been running to the bad guys and me saying, hey, I'm him. You know what I mean? I'm that guy, da da da, trying to be this Tyler Perry movie character. And I think that's what get a lot of us in trouble. And now I'm not doing that. I personally recognize that after a divorce, you do need some time. You need to, whether it's you call it healing or you know, kind of dealing with your having accountable moments or accountable time. I recognize you need some time afterwards
But I'm gonna
to
say
kind of
this.
get back to yourself. But I'm not fighting. Like if the door is open, I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you what you allow me to have. But a lot of times, bro, it takes a while between for that door to close
Well, let's go back
between
to what
people
you
with
said
kids.
on the first on the not to harp on this because I want to want to make sure I know all parties in this, so I want to make sure I say this the right way. The first relationship we're talking about, right? The second, the third. Well, how are we gonna get on which relationship? But the one, that one right there, I believe. Well, I'm gonna ask you a question first. Do you believe that what you know now, her coming the same way, you would have had the same outcome?
I think it would have been delayed. I think it would have been delayed
Hmm.
in the fact that being a man enough to know that some of the stuff that was an issue because I wasn't in a place where I could handle it, you know. So I've grown emotionally and I have grown as a person, as a man on all levels.
Right.
So now things that I've seen as a problem, I have enough accountability to say, okay, what's my side of the issue and how to handle it. Having some grace, not having this my way or the highway type, you know, approach to things because you married, bro. A win ain't really a win.
No, it ain't.
You
But
know what I mean?
that's my
Sometimes you
point,
want
though.
peace. You
That's
want
my
peace.
point. In the last couple of years, I'm saying because at the end of the day, you walking into this home with your bag of tools that you had then, and then you saying walking in there now with 2 bags of tools. You don't think you could have made that work? Because for me, seeing you now and we talking about what the issues was, not to get into it, I kind of think that it's almost like that's why I don't want you to think that way. Because when you was like, I think somebody going through everything and you trying to have a Tyler Perry movie, I think that sometimes you looking at yourself right now, the right woman who had put the right stuff into the wrong man right now, and it's a little hurt and turmoil. You should have enough right now to say, I recognize that's hurt. It's not personal. I recognize that's lostness. That's not bucking. You're not bucking. You just misguided. And let me find ways to navigate this water, to make my presence known, and to show you and display that I am the man, and I still got you and support you. I think me hearing you now and knowing you now, that was needed then. You just didn't have it, but you could do that now. That same situation, that what you have now, I think that would have solved that to me.
Possible. I just know me. I would have definitely been better, and even admitting that, I think that's a big thing. A lot of times, people don't. It's always somebody else's fault. I've never been that person, and I think y'all gotta give me credit on the show. The first 2 seasons was all about what? Accountability. Never talked about the other person. I really focused on me. You know what I mean? And having moments like, this one argument, if I could take it back, or, certain things where I know it was just in a place where I couldn't receive or even I didn't have the conflict, the resolution skills.
No, that's my whole point. Right there, what you're just talking about right now is that that my way or the highway, that was me 9 years ago. So I know me, even with my wife right now, as amazing as she is right now. The smallest arguments right now is small because we both understand. 9 years ago, that's I don't give a. I'm at the house, I'm in the club, I'm in it. See what I'm saying? My point is them little tweaks in my life that made me a better person is like you said, is this a win? Really? No, it's not. And I think that's the difference between me being divorced and me being still married is timing of meeting the person. Not so much as the person, it's just the timing of meeting the person.
And you know what the third factor was? Success. Because a lot of people, a lot of men in relationship don't have time to talk about feelings, learn about emotional intelligence. You know why? Because we're in survival mode. I'm just trying to keep the lights on, pay these bills. I'm barely making enough. I'm stressed out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Car broke down. That is survival mode. But once you get to a place of some kind of calm or success or stability, that's when you'll see a brother say,
"Dog, that's why your last show with Zay was an amazing show." And the young lady, I'm sorry, I don't know her name exactly right now. Bree. Amazing show. I checked it out. And that's why I harp so much on money because of what you just said. Because it's 2 things. If a man don't feel like he has enough money, then his main thing on his head gonna be, I gotta figure out what I gotta do to get this money. You can talk to him till he blew in his face about expressing his feelings, showing love. None of that's gonna matter. The most thing gonna matter is I gotta get myself right. And that's why I think it's dangerous to date a man, and it's not a number. It's an actual safety level of security for them. If a man is not secure in his financial situation, he's undateable.
No self-worth.
He don't. It's him. Like I've been there. Like I don't. It's not a number. It's a me feeling that I don't feel like I can do this. Then I don't feel good. I can't love you right. I feel like every time we land on the couch watching a simple movie, I'm wasting time. I could be out here getting some money. This bill coming. And I think that get bottled up into if you don't make 40,000, if you don't make 80,000. It's not a number, but it is a security level that every man should have before he actually goes to dates. And
It's a few things.
you know what I'm saying? But I think that get glossed over because when you put a number on it, it's easy to say, "Or if you don't make $100,000, you a gold." When a woman say that, you a gold digger. When a man say that, he chapstick Charlie. But I think what they should be saying is, if a man is not secure in his finances, he shouldn't be courting a woman for longevity. He could be dating for fun, but he shouldn't be courting or dating for longevity because he can't give her what he wants because he don't have the time.
Yeah. Yeah, or a man that's tied up into his purpose. I talked to Javon White about that a minute ago, and that's a big thing. Because listen, when I was out there talking about what I want to do, bro, when you driven and you want it and you hungry, you're gonna sacrifice a lot of things. And I damn sure sacrifice a lot of things. Like right now, bro, I ain't about no win. You know, I went through my stage. I got them raggedy trucks. Were you coming out? No. What you doing, Tudor? I'm in the house. Like I was driven because I wanted something else. But like I said, I was talking to somebody on a podcast, and I was telling her, she was talking about emotional intelligence. And I was like, until I was in my late 30s, I was in survival mode. I wasn't unpacking shit. I want to talk about shit. Man, I was just trying to eat, trying to finally keep, the rent high. I got kids. I'm trying to do all of these things. Yeah, I'm in that mode.
No, this is why we had talked about this on one show about I don't think Savannah James get enough credit. Yeah. Most great people who are an athlete, an actor, even Martin Luther King. I'm saying like cheating. I'm saying like no matter what, Malcolm X had multiple. See what I'm saying? It's like when you become a great man, like you said, you chasing purpose. If that woman is not buying into your purpose, attached to your purpose, or invested in her life and understand her purpose is to see you fulfill your purpose, then that relationship won't last. It just won't. It just won't because she gonna have to understand her purpose is to help you get to your purpose. And if that's not a part of her purpose, it is going to be she's and it's not even a selfish thing. She just gonna feel like I'm not getting nothing I want. And most women in those instances, they don't. Like you're not like Savannah is getting maybe one trip out of LeBron a year. The rest of the year, he's especially they got kids now. He's flying here for this kid, one kid in college, two kids gonna be in college soon. He's still playing basketball. He training. He doing movies. He signing people. Dog, for the last 20-some years, this has been her life.
Yeah,
20-some years.
She's been content,
and because she understands his purpose, and she understands for him to be the king. I understand I'm going to be a neglected queen for a long time. Me and Jaleesa watched The Crown. I know you watched it. You finished it?
Oh, yeah. Love it. I'm on 5, season 5.
Right. So we watched The Crown, right? And not spoiler alert, but when you think about who the queen is right now in England, and if you watch The Crown, I ain't going to say that thing, and you see her life, understanding who Prince Charles was going to be, Jesus, bro. I wonder how many women could want to be a queen, that queen. Yeah. See, everybody wanted to be Diana. See, Diana came right into it. Everybody loved her and all this, but it was never his true love. But Camilla, who is the queen of England right now, that life of she lived to become the queen of England. I wonder how many women will sit back and say, I prayed for that.
Yeah.
And that, if women should watch anything, I think they should watch that. And don't pay attention to all the glitz and the glamour. Pay attention to Camilla, who is living right now as the Queen of England.
Yeah.
And I think that when you look at that and you see like, man, that's just a perspective, looking at different perspectives in that show, it's like, bro, she had the roughest road out of everybody in that whole thing to get to where she is right now. But people will look at her right now and be like, oh, she's the Queen of England. Yeah, she's the queen. Through 50 years of going through that. Yeah. And I want to know how many people would still want to be the queen if you knew you had to go through that. Because she sat quietly for years, not knowing if it was ever going to be a happy ending.
Yeah, I agree with that. Listen, I want to take it back. I'm going to ask you something, bro. Because when we talk about we break a lot of man law sometimes, but sometimes we do it for the stretch of it. a lot of dudes and women, people on both sides, don't. Some people don't admit that this is a real thing. And the thing that I'm talking about is the list of possibilities. List of possibilities is something that why this woman who's crazy about this guy can't figure out why he won't commit to her. You know what I mean? And then you got this guy that likes her, but just like you just said with the Queen of England and the King now, he had a wife, his heart was over there. So that kind of almost plays into the same example. There, right now, they always talking about the shortage of men and high value men. Do you know how hard is it to date for the high value man? It's endless possibilities. And now you got dudes that saying, I'm gonna see what's in my best interest, you know. And you got people that will hold out, have somebody that want them, love them, but for some reason she like him over here. You know what I mean? He might be in a situation, but that's kind of holding me. I'm trying to see what's gonna happen over here. And somebody told me that wasn't a real thing. I'm like, yes, it was. I had a list of possibilities, and I think a lot of dudes sometimes get in trouble because they'll still go forward, get married, and still got a whole about 4 or 5 people that they have a crush on or they still want to smash, right? And somebody told me that's not a real thing. I'm like, it absolutely is, and that's where people get in trouble. I'm married, so I do. I done went on to this new chapter, but I always had a thing for Connie. I always had a thing for Jamila. You know what I mean? And that opportunity to come one day, I just got to go over there. Boom. When in reality, you're supposed to be like, I didn't make this list. I didn't get them people. That door closed. Let me focus on what I asked God to bless.
I think that's a real thing for one, because that comes into discipline, right? And I think the world is lacking of discipline right now because there's no constant in discipline because everybody, it's a microwave society when you can do what you feel, whatever makes you happy. And discipline is the opposite of happiness to get to purpose, right? And the world is focused on whatever makes you happy, whatever you feel like you deserve, whatever you feel like you want at the moment. And discipline is denying your feelings and wants for the greater good. So I think what you're speaking of is just a lack of discipline in the world. And I think that's definitely true. The other thing I would say is, I think is, and we done talked about this a lot of times too, is I don't think people respect the ability to get sucked in on cheating. I think everybody think they have enough to tell anybody no whenever they want, right? I think that one thing an older man told me is, in anything you've been doing for a long time, it takes time to get away from it or to change your mind, right? And I think a lot of people, they fall in love with somebody. They have good intentions on being a faithful guy in marriage, but they have never done it before. They have never been faithful. They have never been fully committed. They have never fully compromised. They have never done these things. And in their head, they think because they love this person, they're going to automatically be good at it. When in their life, you have never just woke up in the morning and been just good at something. And most people haven't, right? Even the people who are the best at sports had to practice at some point. So it's like, it's naive to think that you can say, I love you, and cheat all the way up until your marriage day. Most men, some men even cheat on the day before, what you call the bachelor party, the day before. And then think tomorrow when I walk down the aisle and say I do, I'm gonna instantly, this spirit gonna come over me and I'm gonna just shun every woman, no matter how fine it is, no matter how much they my type, no matter, like you said, no matter how much I wanted to hit them, I'm gonna have the strength to just say no. I'm gonna never ever indulge ever again. I'm gonna understand how to compromise and how to be in a functional relationship with one woman fulfilling all my needs when I never done that before. Right. And that, you setting yourself up for failure. I think that's why most marriages, because people go in naively thinking they have enough built up in them that they can just walk into a marriage and say, I know what it takes and I got everything it takes. And I think that's not easy.
I think it's interesting that this is a fact. Some guys and a lot of men have never practiced, like you said, practice monogamy until the day, the day of their wedding. Then I'm married now. And the reality is married men get hit on more than anything. And
Yeah.
we had a guest on our show way back when who said she targets married men because she gets the best of both worlds. At the end of the day, he got to go back home. If she needs some couple dollars, he gonna kick it out. He just wants some outside sex. She get like it's a mutual thing. But a lot of people just think, I'm gonna do all of this bachelor party, bachelorette party, and then I'm gonna be,
Yeah.
this
And
this
that's not easy
fulfilled person. Yeah, it
because
is.
marriage is the pros of dating. And it's nobody who got to the NFL, the NBA, the MLB who just said, I'm just going to sign me to a team and I never practiced ever this hard before, but I'm going to be great. First day walking out on the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just being realistic. A rookie in the NFL has been great at every level of his life. And he still has to get to the NFL and learn it. But when we talk about marriage, most men, because that's especially in our culture, it's been taught for us to get as many women as we want to, go on as many dates and sleep with many women as we want to. Then we mature and see maybe that's not what we're supposed to do in life. We feel that, but we still don't change our ways. And we just slow down. We don't stop. We slow down. Then all of a sudden we meet someone and we know we're supposed to stop. So we say, you know what? Once I get married, I ain't playing it. None of this don't count. We start saying this kind of stuff. None of this don't count until you married. So I get married and then boom, tomorrow, every woman I just was talking to for the last 3 years, I just don't talk to them no more. All the places I still go to the same places I just been going, tricking, finding it, doing all that stuff too. But this time I'm gonna go because I got this ring on. It's a superpower, and I'm gonna just be able to tell all these people no. Nah, bro. I really believe, and me and my wife talk about this. I try my best not to put myself in situations where my strength is tested, because you don't know how strong you is. So why not test yourself over and over and over again until you break? Like, I don't need to know that stove is hot or how hot or how much it'll burn my hand. How about I just don't touch it or stay as far away from it as I can? But I think that you're right, bro. That's a real thing. Anybody who don't think it is, I think they living in a naive world and they're going to be screwed because trust me, dog, I don't want to talk about my experiences because I do stay in Wakanda and that's not a real world. I repeat, it's not a real world for no black men. But the level of discipline it takes is completely amazing. That's why I always tell my wife, there's no such thing as a sisterhood. Because if you fundamentally, I have no want to talk to any of you, I have my ring on everything, you're going out of your way to persuade me to leave your so-called sister.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you say that, bro, because, bro, I pride myself on two things, and I hate it too. I pride myself on my growth because I'm proud of my sexual discipline, and I hate myself for it at the same time. I just cannot do certain things. Women don't understand that men do have superpowers too. Sometimes we meet somebody in our mind, we say, "What? Nah, this bitch crazy." Then we know also females that we're gonna meet and be like, I can't smash because it's gonna end up into a headache, crazy, or possibly something else. So men do have discipline. I know I do. There's a lot of situations like I don't even want to be bothered with, or somebody on Facebook blasted because I didn't do something right. So
I think a lot of men do. And I think for me, talking to my homeboys, who I think are a diverse group of guys, the perception is going to be one thing, but me knowing the reality is most men ain't just out here just fucking. That's what TV tells you. The dudes out here just every weekend slinging it out of both sides of their leg and just doing this. That just, for one, the economy doesn't allow that. Let's get that straight. The economy just doesn't allow that. That's just, that has to be propaganda, right? Because if you are doing that, then you're probably sleeping with a low grade of women on the record. Let's just be realistic, because
buckets.
Because for you, for one, at our age too, especially, bro, there's a lot going on in our life. Like, you be tired. Like, you don't have time to be in and out. Even dating. I talked to one of my homeboys, and he was like, bro, I really want a woman, but I don't even have time to date. I don't have time to properly court a woman. Because, like you said, he's still trying to get it. He thinking about, I'm going to retire in the next 10 years. So I gotta make sure that I get to this level. And it's like I always ask him, bro, when is enough gonna be enough though?
That's my problem. That's where I'm at right now with it.
Because at 55, I guess it don't matter. But at 55 and 60, once you get ready to retire and everything good, then for you to start take another 5 years to date somebody, bitch, where you going to Piccadilly's and on the Bahamas cruise? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not talking to shit because I know my uncle them out here and all this, but and they older and still out here, you know what I'm saying? But it just that don't look fun and enticing to me. Now to some people it might be. But that just don't look fun and enticing to me to actually, bro, think about this. This is all subject, but just think about this too. When we were young, all of us stayed on 30th Street, right? None of the men we respected went to the club when they were our age.
Right.
None. All my homeboys go to the club except for maybe like 3. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So I just think about that, bro. We used to see a group of men get off work, stand up under the light, get a bill. They ride to each other's house. They talk trash. As far as it went, and they all went home. They might get to, on the weekend, hang out a little longer than each other, but it was up the street. So much because we were young people, we mimicked them. We go in front of one of our houses and did the same thing for a long time because we thought that's what men did.
Right
now, bro, the last time me and my homeboy Jeff, we went to Cucumber, just like get out the house, bro. I felt so out of place, and I seen dudes in there way older than me. I'm talking about, and they groove, they in there grooving and moving, popping bars. I'm like, bro, this nigga granddad in here. Bro, when is enough gonna be enough? And it's like everybody in Peter Pan world in Never Land. Nobody want to grow up.
Yeah, I think not to cut you off. I think a lot of people in fantasy land, man. That's when I was telling somebody the other day, like, man, I got a whole, what you do? I'm like, I got a whole mortgage, man. I work 3 jobs in sense, but some that can jail, cool. But as far as, bro, and I have to admit that I'm older. That's what the humble part. I was telling somebody like, man, I'm tired. I don't know why I'm tired. Because I'm older and I just drove down south, did 9-10 hours, and then drove another hour back home. That's 12 hours. And then I come home and then be like, I don't know why I'm tired.
Bro, I just came down to one of my homeboys, Kwame. He just had his baby shower, and I said, yeah, I'm going to come down there and see you. I was ready for it out of there, bro. And I was like, he was like, you were like, what you did? I said, bro, I went to his baby shower and to the hotel and just slept, bro. I did the craziest thing. I got all my kids there at this point right now, my life, and a wife. Are you crazy, bro? That was the peace from heaven. Just waking up, not having to do nothing. Like you said, like I was tired. You talking about? I couldn't imagine, dog. We got drunk one night, and I think it was Friday, and it carried over to Wednesday. like, bro, I was like, how could you do this at this age every night? This is crazy, bro. And I wasn't even like falling on the face drunk. I just don't drink that much during the week because it's too much. And then if I don't come down there with y'all, I don't really drink like that because I don't go out like that. Man, I was like, this is crazy, bro. There's no way I could do this every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday. There's no way, bro, I can do this. This is, you can't, at 40, bro, you have to be on some kind of narcotics to your body to even be cranking up at 40 to be getting drunk and high repeatedly, bro. So then when you're thinking about that, and then you're thinking about being in a relationship, that wear and tear, it's just like, where do we go from here?
They call me bougie now. When I come to the hood, I see them. The boy went out last week. Boy, come on. I'm like, no. Oh, he bougie. I ain't bougie. It's just, I done seen everybody in Palm Beach possible. The Black Lux was amazing. I missed that, but
that looked nice. So shout out to Palm Beach, bro. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It still be one thing I like about my city is because for a while it was nothing to do for people who was over 30.
That was top notch.
Now I'm seeing like nice events, man. I salute to our fellow classmates, friends, and sisters and brothers who are our age and around our age group who are showing out for us as we get older, because we were a partying group of people. in our younger age, and I'm happy they continuing it with style. Because the events I've been seeing lately, man, are very that Black Lux thing made me to show my wife like we got to hit this next
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. We overdue for a trip anyway, man. I
year.
just need it. Listen, I don't get to see it often, but when I have something on my brain, I'm like, bro, like if I argue with somebody, I'm like, man, F you. I'm gonna go talk to my boy Mario. And
Oh no, I
that's how
agree.
the conversation had.
I was telling I always tell you, Zay and Chris, the other Black Super Friends, that me being on this show made me value having homeboys that I could talk to because I didn't know people didn't have that. Because
Yeah.
we always had it. So like you said, the forum, like this is what we did. So I'm thinking everybody did that in their prospective pockets in life until I see that. Oh no, that's definitely not what people do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy to me because I talk to y'all about everything. I talk to all y'all. I call y'all throughout the week and talk to y'all about all kinds of, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying just
Me
it
too.
makes me feel very grateful to have that outlet, especially as a Black man in this climate, because maybe that's probably what's saving my life. You know what I'm saying? In all intents and purposes, because I have that, I'm not going as crazy as the world around me.
Well, look at this. One, we did a podcast to help me, right? Second, when you look at the situation, bro, look how far we've grown. Even
Yeah.
look at the night's conversation. Being able to have conversations, we're transparent, we share, because people just think our life is so wonderful. But then when we
Yeah.
share these moments, it make people say, like, bro, like, we go through everything just like the rest of y'all. We just sharing it. So it always makes me feel good when some of our homeboys be like, hey, bro, I heard y'all, that was real.
No, I
And
do. Some
it
of the
helps us grow.
dumbest of people too.
Huh?
Some of the damnedest of people have came up to me and said that. You know what I'm saying? And me being, I got married. I came on the show and I was just recently getting married, right? So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I talked to you a lot about marriage. I talked to my married homeboys, some of them, and I got 3 homeboys just divorced that I talk to a lot because I always feel like them 3 homeboys are super transparent with me on mistakes they made that I can navigate away from it, right? And for them people to always be like, I'm proud of you, bro, and keep going, it mean a lot to me too. You know what I'm saying? I give a shout out to Chris because Chris was one of my most inquisitive homeboys ever and been through a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of stages in my life with me. So for him to say, all the time, like, bro, I'm so proud, keep going, and him to be like, is invested. Like you said, people don't think so. But the
Yeah.
calls I get, like, bro, you good, man? Don't be like, what I'm saying, just because just wanting for me to be successful. Oh yeah, that's why I say, man, I'm so grateful to have y'all because a lot of Black men, bro, I feel so bad because they don't have that, bro.
Yeah. Well, I give y'all credit. I think the show saved saved my life, so we had our moments on the show, but we have grown over 4 seasons, bro. We grew
Yeah,
right in front of everybody's eyes. And like you say, man, I'm thankful for that because a lot of people watch with us and uh, you know, to see where we come from anyway, bro. We
right,
want
right.
like we want no punk chumps, you know.
No, and I think we set the precedent because when we started doing this too, a lot of people had aspirations to do it. I think, but we stuck to it and showed discipline and dedication in a time when it was too easy just to run off.
Hmm.
Yeah, we had a lot of conversations and gave a lot of people our platform to express themselves and to we wasn't no haters in the midst of it. Gave shout outs, gave,
Hmm.
commercials for people, showed love. And integrity was intact from the beginning to the end. And that's one of the things that's most important with me, anything I do, especially having children. Now I want them to look back and say, hey, I know these guys. That's my dad and my uncles.
Mm.
And listen to them, man. Look at this. When we 60 and 70 sitting there, you know what I'm saying? They can sit back and say, man, I know, man, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Because my kids love y'all too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate it, bro. I
Yeah.
appreciate you giving me some of your time tonight, man. Oh, who knows where I don't know where Chris at. I don't know where Guns are really at, but I'll reach out to them at some point because we really haven't chatted in a while. We in the inbox all day,
Yeah.
but it's been a while since we had a real conversation, man. So I appreciate you letting me get some thoughts off my brain, man, and Everybody, we will check y'all at another time. All right. Let's do it.